the biggest cooking oil. Mistake that increases inflammation. If you're over 60 years old and you're watching this video right now, I'd like you to do one small thing for me. Just pause for 5 seconds and think about the last meal you cooked. Which bottle of oil did you reach for? Most of us don't think much about it. We simply grab that yellow bottle that's been sitting next to the stove for years. Not sugar. Not the occasional glass of wine we sip with dinner, but something that sits in almost every American kitchen today. Cooking oil. But here's something top liver specialists have been quietly telling their patients over 65. The problem isn't always the type of oil you buy. It's how we've been using it for decades, exactly the way our mothers and grandmothers taught us. Today, we're going to go deep, really deep, into 2 groups of oils that many experts recommend using more carefully after age 60. We'll look at 2 everyday cooking habits that may be harming your liver more than you realize. And most importantly, I'll share 2 simple, practical alternatives you can start using right away in your own kitchen. No expensive ingredients, no fancy equipment required. But first, let me tell you about Richard. Richard is 68 years old and retired from an auto plant in Ohio. He emailed our channel last year. He rarely drinks alcohol. Maybe a single beer while watching a Browns game on Sunday. He doesn't eat many sweets. His doctor even complimented him for keeping his weight stable at 185 pounds. But during a routine Medicare wellness visit, his doctor looked at his blood test results and said something that left Richard stunned. "You have early-stage fatty liver." Richard was shocked. "Doctor, I eat pretty normally, just like most Americans," he said. But when they sat down and reviewed every meal he had eaten over the past month, the truth slowly appeared. Breakfast, eggs fried in the same vegetable oil he had been using since the 1980s. Lunch, sautéed vegetables and fried chicken, again using that same bottle. Dinner, catfish or pork chops pan-fried. And yes, he often saved the leftover oil from the day before to cook with again, just like his mother did during the Great Depression. 3 months later, after he stopped reusing frying oil and significantly cut back on deep-fried foods, his next blood test showed his liver enzymes had dropped nearly 40%, and his doctor even gave him a high five. Richard's story is not unusual. According to the American Liver Foundation, about 1 in 3 adults in the United States now has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, more than 100 million Americans. And among people over 60, the number is even higher. Many people live with it for years without any symptoms until damage has already begun. So instead of asking, which oil is the worst, the smarter question after 60 may be, what oils and cooking habits should I be especially careful about? Let's start with Group 1. Common refined vegetable oils used every day. You know the ones. Those clear bottles sitting on the bottom shelf at Walmart or Kroger simply labeled vegetable oil. Most of them aren't a single oil at all. They're usually blends. Soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, and sometimes cottonseed oil. See, these oils go through heavy industrial refining, temperatures reaching 450 degrees Fahrenheit, chemical solvents, bleaching, and deodorizing. All of this makes the oil cheap and shelf-stable for years, but the process also removes most of the natural vitamin E and antioxidants that exist in the original seeds. Without those protective compounds, the oil becomes much easier to oxidize, basically go rancid, when exposed to high heat. A large analysis published in the BMJ found that people who consume large amounts of ultra-processed foods, which often contain these refined vegetable oils, have significantly higher rates of fatty liver disease. Now, I'm not telling you to throw everything in your kitchen away. The real issue isn't just the bottle of oil. It's the way we use it, day after day, meal after meal. And that brings us to Group 2, oils containing trans fats. On ingredient labels, you may see phrases like partially hydrogenated vegetable oil or partially hydrogenated soybean oil. These oils were invented in the 1950s to help margarine and shortening stay stable on grocery shelves for long periods. At the time, we believed they were healthier than animal butter. Later, science proved the opposite. Trans fats raise bad cholesterol, LDL, lower good cholesterol, HDL, and quietly trigger chronic inflammation, especially in the liver. For years, the American Heart Association has been clear about this. There is no safe level of artificial trans fat. Fortunately, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration banned them from most processed foods in 2018. But small amounts can still appear in certain restaurant fryers, packaged pie crusts, and in some all-purpose frying oils sold in large supermarkets. A simple rule for those of us over 60. If you see the words partially hydrogenated anywhere on the label, put it right back on the shelf. But here's the interesting and slightly frustrating truth. In most American kitchens, the biggest danger isn't actually the oil itself. It's two cooking habits many of us have followed for 40 or 50 years without ever thinking about them. The first habit, waiting until the oil starts smoking before adding food. How many of us were taught by our mothers, heat the pan until the oil smokes, then add the potatoes or chicken. We assume the hotter the oil, the crispier the food. But the moment oil begins to smoke, usually around 400 to 450 degrees Fahrenheit for common vegetable oils, its chemical structure starts to break down. Yes, harmful compounds such as aldehydes and free radicals begin to form. Research published in JAMA has linked these compounds to increased oxidative stress and fatty liver. After age 60, your liver simply doesn't process oxidative stress as efficiently as it did at 40. So that beautiful golden, crispy crust you're proud of, it might be asking more of your liver than you realize. The fix is simple, and it actually makes food taste better. Heat your oil over medium heat until it shimmers but does not smoke, usually around 325 to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. If you want to be precise, you can use a small cooking thermometer. They're about $8 at Walmart. Add the food right at that moment. You'll still get a beautiful golden color without creating toxic smoke. The second habit, and this one touches many people, is reusing frying oil multiple times. On Sunday, you fry chicken for the grandkids. On Monday, you use the same oil to fry potatoes. By Tuesday, you might even fry fish in it. By the third or fourth use, the oil has absorbed moisture, food particles, and oxygen. Food chemistry tests show that reused oil can contain up to 20 times more oxidation compounds than fresh oil. These compounds don't just make the oil smell unpleasant, they go straight to the liver and contribute to inflammation. I know what some of you are thinking. My mother did that her whole life and lived to 88. That's true for some people. But our grandparents also walked 5 miles a day, grew their own vegetables, and didn't eat nearly as many ultra-processed foods as we do today. Our livers are carrying a heavier burden now. So what oils should we actually use for everyday cooking? Well, the good news is the answer is simple, affordable, and already common in many homes. For daily stovetop cooking, morning eggs, lunchtime stir-fries, sautéed vegetables, or pan-seared chicken at dinner, 2 oils stand out for people over 60: extra virgin olive oil and peanut oil. Extra virgin olive oil has been used for thousands of years throughout the Mediterranean region. Modern research from institutions like Harvard University and the National Institutes of Health consistently explains why. It's rich in oleic acid and polyphenols, compounds known to reduce liver inflammation. Its smoke point is about 375 degrees Fahrenheit, making it ideal for medium heat cooking. Yes, it costs a few dollars more than those giant bottles of vegetable oil, but you only need 1 or 2 tablespoons per meal. Buying a smaller 16.9-ounce bottle also helps keep the oil fresh. And peanut oil is the quiet hero for people who still enjoy frying occasionally. It has a very high smoke point, around 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and a neutral flavor that won't overpower food. Many southern home cooks have used it for generations to fry chicken and catfish. Just remember one rule: don't reuse it more than once. For cold dishes, salad dressings, drizzling over roasted vegetables, or dipping bread, stick with extra virgin olive oil or a good sesame oil. A simple vinaigrette made with olive oil, a splash of balsamic vinegar, a little Dijon mustard, and fresh herbs takes 2 minutes to make and tastes like something from a restaurant. Here are 3 practical tips I often share with older adults. 1. Follow the one-use rule. After frying, let the oil cool, pour it into a container, and throw it away. It may feel wasteful the first week. After that, it becomes a normal habit, and your liver will thank you. 2. Keep 2 small bottles on your kitchen counter. 1 bottle of olive oil for everyday cooking. 1 bottle of peanut oil for the occasional frying. When a bottle runs out, buy another small one. Fresh oil means less oxidation. 3. Add 1 habit that has nothing to do with oil, but multiplies the benefits. After age 60, the liver loves movement. A 20-minute walk after dinner helps your body process fats more efficiently. Combine that with better cooking oils, and you may see the difference at your next blood test. There's no miracle oil that solves everything. Your liver is an incredible organ. It filters toxins, processes every bite you eat, and keeps your energy stable throughout the day. It has been working hard for you for 6 or 7 decades. The least we can do is avoid making its job harder with outdated habits from a time when we simply didn't know better. Small changes, done consistently. That's how early fatty liver can be reversed. That's how you gain more years to play with your grandchildren, travel in an RV, and enjoy the retirement you worked so hard for. If this video gave you even one idea you plan to try this week, whether it's buying a small bottle of olive oil or finally throwing away that old frying oil, please share it with your spouse, your grown children, or that friend who still fries everything with the same bottle they bought in 2005. And I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. What oil have you been using for years? Did your family reuse frying oil like people used to? Have you had your liver enzymes checked recently? Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs before their next doctor's visit. Thank you for spending this time with me today. You spent decades taking care of your family. Now it's time to take care of the one organ that has quietly been taking care of you all along. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, cook wisely, eat well, and take good care of your liver.